Elijah, I understand. Correct me when I'm wrong, or just jump in, or whatever. You had a situation where you were strong on by the Secret Service because you were executing your First Amendment rights. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Tim, that's correct.
Okay. At this, first of all, where were you and why were you removed?
Well, I was at the Pride Center in Wilton Manors, which is in Fort Lauderdale, pretty much. And that's a place I go to a lot of the times for health services, HIV testing. I am part of the LGBT community, so I'm familiar with that place. But I went there that morning for the town hall, which was being held by Wajamin Schultz, Nancy Pelosi, and Representative Ted Deutsch, who represents parts of Fort Lauderdale.
Gotcha. So it sounds fine now. You're part of you're going to an event. It's an event. I'm assuming you didn't just sneak in the window. How did you get in? Were you on the guest list, or how does it work?
Well, they had everybody email their contact information, but I was able to get in without being checked or any name being checked off of the list, and I was able to get a seat in the first or second row, actually.
Oh, okay. VIP treatment for okay. I like it. So that seemed like it's going pretty well in the beginning. You go in, it's an event. You know the people, you know the community. You're part of the community. It's a relevant event. So what went wrong, man? Why would they kick you out of that?
Well, it took them about 30, 35 minutes for that to happen, but I went live and I did a few hashtags like single payer. I did a hashtag Seth Rich. And I was just live streaming the event. I seen a few people I knew there. Sun Sentinel was sitting next to me. I seen people I've done activism with in the community. Next thing you know is come with me and get out, and that just really shocked me. I've never been kicked out of a town, like an actual town hall before.
Well, I've been kicked out of a bar too, man. It's no fun. But no, I've never been kicked out of a town hall either. So let me get this right. So the only thing you're really tweeting is single payer? Yeah,
pretty much.
Okay. Seth Rich. Oh, it's a Seth Rich. That's what it was. It's a Seth Rich tweet. I don't know, man. So when you say kicked you out, man, what did they do? How did they go about removing you from the premises?
Well, first a gentleman in a suit approached me, and he just came out of nowhere. Come with me. I didn't know who he was at first. I was thinking, it's a guy in a suit telling me to come with him. So I followed him. I listened, and I went with him outside. And I asked him what was the problem, if there's a problem. He said, yeah, there's a problem. And there were threats made online towards Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And, I asked him what was the threats. Can you show me what they were? He would just, get out. You're banned from the building. You had a trespassing warrant. And I didn't understand that neither. So I get outside and I see one guy with the Secret Service emblem on him. And I was like, huh? Like, why are they even here? And then it hit me, Nancy Pelosi. That's why they're here.
Okay. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. And one of the officers just escorted me off. And as you see in the video, I asked him, why I'm being kicked off and everything. He said, I don't know. It's just an order from the Secret Service, And, I'm just thinking, like, why are they kicking me out? Like, what could I have possibly done for this treatment? After a while, I'm being followed, and I don't understand why I'm being followed either. I'm not a threat to national security. I don't know why I'm being followed by Secret Service, in my own community, pretty much.
Right. Wow, man, this is very unsettling, man, and not to mention, it's hypocritical, for them to do that to you, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, because, like, I was like wondering, like, what's more to the story? Like, what did this guy do that was so? I mean, you don't seem like, I don't know, you're not Shaq's height. You know what I mean? I mean, that would be good if you were, because I need money if you have it. If you were Shaq, that'd be good. But I don't think. I mean, what is so intimidating about it? How old are you? I'm sorry, I'm not going to ask you, Jeff. I only asked Elijah because I know he's young. Elijah, how old are you?
I'm 18 years old. It's probably my mouth and the policies I stand for that's the big threat. The fact that I ask tough questions and sometimes they don't want those tough questions or they don't want to answer those tough questions.
Gotcha. They want good ops.
Exactly.
Optically, you're not a physical threat. You're a mental threat. You're a moral threat, and you're a political threat. Is the problems?
Yep.
My friend.
Yep.
Wow. So when you said they followed you, man, I just want to go down this a little bit further. You said they followed you. I know the answer to this question. I did my homework, but I want everybody to hear this. How long did they follow you? For what distance or what amount of time did they follow you, Elijah?
At first it was a mile, and then I was, at first I was walking down the street, and I turned back, I see three people. They're not really dressed like all suited up. It's like one guy with a suit, but like everyone else like casual clothing, and they're following me, and I'm like, why are they following me? So I keep walking because I don't want to like go towards them. I know what happens, encounters with police officers. I get to my school, which is a mile away from the Pride Center, and they're still following me. So I take an Uber, and then there's a car following us for like over a mile until we get downtown. I didn't think anything of it. I'm thinking, maybe I'm just over exaggerating. I leave. I went to the government center downtown, which is where I intern at, actually. And I stayed there for a complete hour because, I didn't want any encounters with law enforcement. After an hour of leaving that building, I try to catch an Uber, but my phone's dead. So now I have to walk to the bus to take a bus. And I see that car again. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going crazy now. I'm not seeing things. This is real life. I catch the bus to my house. I see a similar car again, too. So I did not leave my house for the rest of that day until the next afternoon because I didn't want any threats being made towards me. So,
you were followed home.
Home, pretty much. I'm like,
Yeah.
anything could have happened. Anything could have happened, and I wouldn't. I'm glad I stayed inside.
Yeah, I'm also glad that you followed their instructions because I'm sure they would have laid hands on you, maybe tased you. Don't tase me, bro. Some other overreaction to, the damaging, I'm sure the damaging questions that you were going to ask. It reminds me a little bit of when Hillary Clinton had that young lady removed from her event when she asked about super predators. But at least she got to ask a question. You
exactly.
didn't ask anything.
This was before the event even happened. I was removed. And I think the only thing that could stop them from putting hands on was the fact that I was live streaming the way there and the entire way until I got towards downtown. I was live streaming. That probably saved me a little bit. That doesn't happen with everybody, and my battery was certainly going to die soon. So another piece of advice: always have a charged battery, a full battery.
That's right. You got it. Always have a charged battery. And you're right. More attention the better. I'm telling people like Jared Beck and Elizabeth Becker, you guys are right there. Oh, man. Look, man, I forgot these guys are all in the same state. Get out of here. This is going to be a great show. So look, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you. I heard that you made some posts, right? That they may have been looking at like before. Was there anything in those posts that that were grave danger to Nancy Pelosi or Debbie Wasserman, or what was it?
The post from the day of the town hall?
Whatever.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are referring to a post I made when I was in a car, even though I can't drive. It shows Debbie Wasserman Schultz in the front of the car walking because it was a town hall. But people failed to realize that there were plenty of other events I went to after that where I would never kicked out of the Debbie Wasserman Schultz town hall. Okay. So I know it wasn't any real threat to Debbie Wasserman Schultz that I posed towards her, or Nancy Pelosi for that fact. As a matter of fact, when I was in D.C., I was in Nancy Pelosi's office talking to her about single payer, and she refused to talk about single payer because
she's against it. But do you think maybe they recognized you? Possibly.
Yes. In Washington, D.C., I'm a very active person. I've sat in their offices and did sit-outs in their offices. Almost got arrested by Capitol Police for talking about single payer at the Capitol. I know they know pretty well who I am, okay. And that's probably why. It just goes to show you of the surveillance state we live in. The fact that I was live streaming, how else would they have known that I was in that event? Somebody had to go on my social media and watch my social media to know I was there. Otherwise, how else would they know that I'm in that building? Unless somebody like physically recognized me.
Maybe we got some rats in the house. I don't know. Somebody had to let them off. Look, I want to bring Jeff Campbell in on this at this point. Thank you for chilling there, Jeff. What is your take on this? Have you dealt with Debbie Wasserman or Nancy Pelosi in Florida or any other events?
Not so much Nancy, but Debbie, we've come face to face quite a few times. I've been face to face where she won't even answer a question, like where I'm looking her right in the eyes. And then some person comes over and there's like, I'm friends with Debbie. What can we talk about? And I'm like, she was right next to me. Why couldn't we talk? But yeah, it's bad. But this particular event, it wasn't mentioned yet that that place looked like, you know, it was Fort Knox. I don't know, the place was locked down like, you know, a prison cell in there. There was cops everywhere. They had roped off areas. They know that there's a presence of progressives, and they don't want the ops. They don't want people in there asking questions. They don't want people, they just want to have a little song and dance and like have people just clap for them on video, put it on the news. The local news doesn't question a thing. You go through the Miami Herald, the Sun Sentinel, any of the local channels, NBC, Fox here local, they make them look like angels.